What's up, hustlers? All right, so this is part two. All right, I'm going to walk you through this system, and every day we're going to go over something a little bit deeper. I think one of the things I left out in yesterday's video was the fact that I believe that this works for any business, no matter what the product or service is, no matter what the way or how you plan to make money, it doesn't matter. And so today, as we do clarity, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to give you guys two scenarios. I'm going to give you my scenario of a content creator and providing a transformation, what will be like a coaching way. And then I'm going to give you a physical product way of getting clarity. And I'm going to use a use case from one of the clients that I'm working with right now. And today I just got off the call and we got a big win today because one of the larger companies in the industry who typically wouldn't use a company like this one because they do their own manufacturing, looked at what we did, they saw it, and they were impressed by it, and it opened up a conversation for them to possibly distribute our product. Okay, so a lot of how you display yourself comes from that, but everything starts with clarity. So let me get this erased. And I just wanted to reiterate that. All right, so six-figure ecosystem today. We are discussing clarity. All right, so I'm gonna split this down the middle and I'm gonna start over here. And this was T-shirt side hustle. Right? Eventually, this became the six-figure printer club, okay? But in order to get there, the first thing that I did was I had to brainstorm all of the revenue streams that I possibly could. And actually, for the first year, I went out and did some of these in full to try to figure out what I was gonna do. All right. So the first thing I did was I had master classes. I'm gonna just call them classes, trainings, online classes, right? I wanted to make the transition from the companies I was working with, and I was in the process of selling equipment and supplies, right? And under classes, let me just jump back. I could come up with a new class every day. And I think my main system runs on about 10 classes in order to get this done, right? I had my affiliate income, which phased out. One of the things I discussed with you guys is in a previous video was like the different revenue streams. As we start to move into new direction, we're gonna lose some revenue in other places, but the plan here is to eventually expand, but it's like the 80-20 rule. You don't wanna spend, you wanna spend your time on the 20% that's making 80% of the revenue and figure out how it can grow rather than spend 80% of your time doing things that's bringing you 20% of the revenue. So I had affiliate income, I had brand deals, partnerships, right? I had consulting. Trying to think of what else. Brand deal. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so this is it. I wanted to be in the software game, which I never really got into. I'm still on the brink of, but I held off some of the partnerships that I could have had based on the products that I wanted to have. All right, so the first thing I had to do was get my product list out, right? So that would be an idea of the different revenue streams that I could do to make money. What I did was, and remember I had 10 plus, I had way more classes and different things like that. But what I did was I turned my classes that I did for a year, just giving them away. And I would do anywhere from like $27 to $97 for my master classes. I made some money. And then I have the recordings that I was actually able to put forth for sale from that. So once you get that, and we're talking in the coaching format on this side, right? So what I had to do is like, think about where, like if this is the starting point for a person, and this is the end point, which is six figures, is my goal, that's my place. I had to think about everything that this person needed to know throughout that portion. And I had to write it out. Okay, the first thing they need is clarity, right? The next thing that they need is I'm trying to think specifically to the print business. They needed to understand pricing. They needed a website. They need marketing. They need time, right? They needed to know where to order from. And this may be out of order, like suppliers. They needed to know about equipment, decoration methods. They need to know all of this stuff. And when I was doing these classes, I would just come up with one, or I would ask people what they wanted to know about next. In the next class, what's the topic? And they didn't all fit into an order. Remember when I said, when you do things, you should do it in a very, very specific order, right? So this would be what the customer journey is right here. So we got our product list. We got our customer journey, right? Again, wording and all of that stuff. So I came up with a system to say, hey, no matter what happens, I can get you to this end goal. This is the things that you need to get you to this end goal. And I come up with a roadmap to how I can help them. Now, inside of here, what you're looking for is the pain points. I'm looking for the things that would stop a person from getting to the revenue goal that they want to get to, which could be 6 figures, right? So my research said that pricing was a pain point. My research said that marketing was a pain point. My research said that time was a pain point. And so when we talk about lead magnets and different things like that, these are the things that I'm going to talk about. If you struggle with pricing, don't worry about it. I'm going to make sure you know how to price, you're confident how to price, and I'm going to help you get to 6 figures. If it came to marketing, I came up with the perfect print shop marketing plan. Hey, I know you struggle getting the word out about your business. I'm going in this very, very specific thing. My lead magnet, I'm not going to do a lead magnet that solves all of these problems. I'm going to do a lead magnet that solves one by one. Okay? And these were my first lead magnets. 1, 2, then 3. I wrote them in that order. Then I went back and I actually wrote what my main lead magnet was, which is the roadmap. Right? The roadmap really was a way for me to show them how to become a customer. I'm going to get a full look at this in detail, probably towards the end when we look at my entire funnel and how it's set up. But for clarity, we need to understand what our products are. We need to understand how we help people. We also need to understand what the pain points are. And last but not least, which is actually first, we need to figure out where we want to go. In my case, what I want to get to right now is 7 figures. Right now, I've transformed out of the t-shirt. I was out of the 6-figure printer program and I generalized it to the 6-figure startup club. But my goal in totality is get to 7 figures. Now, when I look at this, I can say I want 50% of my revenue to come from here. Let's do a different color. Just to give you an idea, you take this, you organize it a bit better. We're going to get into more detail. We're working on a whiteboard. I'm going to say I want 50% of my revenue to come from here. I want 15% to come from here. I want 10% to come from here. I want 25% to come from here. And this could be grouped under this. Like, we're going to figure out what the organization would be. And I'm going to show you exactly how mine works later on for T-shirt styles, which ultimately ended up being the 6-figure printer club. Now, on this side, we got a company, equipment company. One of my clients, I'm not going into the specifics. The first thing that we needed to do was I had to fly there and I had to look at what they were doing. What is our skill set and what do we do, right? This company is a manufacturer of a product. So I need to look for things like capacity. I need to look at the product list, which I need to look at that. I need to look at product development, right? I needed to look at what they had. And what I figured out with this company was we had to simplify the offering. we simplified it down so much that in general, they got 4 products now, right? Now, they had, let's say it was 50 products before. And what I did was I created groups under the product. So now we got 4 products that can be modified to whatever the situation was. What that's going to do for us is it's going to simplify it for our customer. If we look at our price list and there's too much going on and we don't know like what all the stuff is, we got to ask questions. It's the 80-20 rule. What are the things that are going to make us 80% of our revenue? And let's focus on those things. So we simplified the offering into 4 products. Then we started to roll into the website and what that all looked like. But now, instead of like the customer journey as far as what transformation we provide, we're going to think about what do people need to know? When it comes to using our product or becoming a customer. Right? Let me fix that. I know how to spell custom, right? But, right? Cool. We want to know, what do people know in order to use our product and become a customer? We still want to know what the pain points are. So the pain points are the things that we're going to talk about. So they need to know, and I don't want to get specific. That's why I'm trying to think about how I can kind of say it. But they need to know the benefits of our product. Benefits. How we differ from the competitors. Right? They need the basics of how to use it. And they need to know what's possible. Now, the pain points might be, I don't have enough space to do this. I don't have enough time. They could question, is it profitable? Will I make money? Right? So many things that could come out of pain points. But in general, if these are my pain points, these are the things that I'm going to talk about when it comes to content. So to back this up a little bit, and I could probably go into another example of something more recent, specific, which I may do in another video to kind of reiterate clarity. And I could show you, because we write on the whiteboard, we take a picture, then we look at it, then we organize it even more from that picture. Then we take a picture of that, we erase it, and then we create this web of how it all fits together, and then we get to where it is. So I'll probably give you in a follow-up video to this that will go over a very, very specific case from somebody like yourself we've recently worked together, and now she has a company, or her website is called Wellness is a Vibe. So she went from Serenities.com, now she's transitioning into her new brand. From all of this organization, we realized that the company, some of the few key terms that she kept saying is we should just change the name of the company to fit exactly and say exactly what it is. But it came through 3 or so sessions of clarity to try to figure it out, because she has multiple streams, multiple different facets. If you're a person that has something that you're dedicated to, one thing that you're dedicated to, clarity is very easy. It took 4 sessions to get her to the point that we got, and it took the Johnny May experience, or JohnnyMayEvents.com. It took her really like 1 day where we did like 2 mini sessions in order to get everything that we needed to get. It just depends on how complex your idea of the things that you want to do and how you're going to make money off of them. That conversation is one that you got to figure out in a way that will give you clarity. But you need to do a brain dump first. Then you need to look at your brain dump and put everything into the bucket or category that it falls into. And then you need to actually make this web and say, here's what's going on, and here's the revenue that I want to make from each sections based on my revenue goal that I would like to hit. So I think I covered everything in this. If there's any questions, put them down in the comments below. Let me know. If you're not subscribing already, you should subscribe. I built another YouTube channel, over 100,000 subscribers. I think it's like 112 right now. I don't even want to be in that space. I wanted to generalize what I'm doing. This was perfected in that ecosystem. I have 5 mentees right now. I'm excited because we just moved our mentee meetings to Saturday morning. So if you want to come hang out for a weekend, all you got to do is shoot me a message. Go to stanbanks.com, shoot me a message, say you want to come hang out with us. I'll let you guys come hang out for a week, and you'll see what the vibe is like in that community before you join, or whether you never join, or whatever the case is. If you want to get help on your business, stanbanks.com is where you go. Get on that email list and do all of that stuff. And if I need to get more clear about anything that I discussed today, just put it down in the comments below. Remember, everybody needs a stand. Peace.